the news today, President Tinubu reaffirms commitment to national security. On the foreign scene, Ghana, South Africa clash over migrants' death. Venezuela earthquake death toll nears 2,600. And in sport, Switzerland, Portugal reach World Cup last 16. Glad to have you join us. This is the news update at 12 on Dominion Television. Ibadan, Amuluayemi Adelakon. President Bola Tinubu has assured Nigerians that his administration remains committed to improving security across the country to ensure citizens can live, work, and prosper in a safe environment. The president gave the assurance at the Maiden State House Media Corps presidential dinner in Abuja, where he said intensified military operations have led to the neutralization of thousands of terrorists and criminal elements, the rescue of hostages, and the recovery of communities previously occupied by armed groups. President Tinubu also reaffirmed his commitment to press freedom, responsible journalism, and democratic accountability, urging the media and government to strengthen mutual respect, professionalism, and constructive engagement while upholding accountability in the national interest. The Southwest Security Stakeholders Group has called on the federal and Oyo State government to urgently secure the release of kidnapped victims in part of Oyo State. In a statement by its publicity secretary, Ireti Adewale, the coalition of 14 security organizations, including the OPC and Agbekoya, described the recent abductions as alarming and a serious threat to public safety. The group urged stronger collaboration among security agencies and all levels of government, calling for improved intelligence sharing, community-based security operations, and swift action to rescue the victims and prevent further attacks. The federal government has launched a new initiative to strengthen Nigerian universities and improve their global competitiveness. In a statement, the Minister of Education, Tuji Alausa, said the program will reduce universities' dependence on government funding by promoting alumni engagement, donor partnerships, endowment, and institutional fundraising. He added that advancement offices will be established in federal universities to support resource mobilization and research development. The minister said the initiative, developed in collaboration with education partners, will improve university governance, expand scholarship opportunities, and attract more research funding as part of the federal government's broader education reform agenda. The Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Abimbola Akinmuwadi I, has called for greater global recognition of the Yoruba knowledge system, describing it as a rich intellectual tradition rooted in research, innovation, and practical solutions to human challenges. The monarch made the call at Bar State University in Brazil, where he urged scholars and world leaders to reject the misconception that Yoruba culture is merely ritualistic. He said Yoruba civilization has developed a knowledge system that remains relevant to governance, education, economic development, and social organization. Obawade also called for stronger global support to reconnect Yoruba descendants with their ancestral roots, saying such effort would help preserve the race's identity, cultural heritage, and intellectual legacy. The federal government and the International Labour Organization have launched the second phase of the social dimension of ecological transition project to promote green jobs, worker protection, and inclusive economic growth between 2025 and 2029. In a statement, the Minister of Labour and Employment, Mohammed Yadi, said the initiative will move from policy to implementation by expanding decent work opportunities, supporting sustainable enterprises, and building on the achievement of the first phase. ILO officials said the new phase will focus on clean energy and sustainable development, while climate experts stressed the need for the project to create jobs, reduce poverty, and drive inclusive economic growth. On the foreign scene, Ghana and South Africa are locked in a diplomatic dispute following the killing of a Ghanaian migrant amid heightened tensions over recent anti-immigrant protests in South Africa. Ghana's foreign ministry said 40-year-old Bashiru Isaac was shot dead during xenophobic attacks linked to demonstrations in Cape Town and has formally protested to the South African government. South Africa, however, rejected Ghana's claims, insisting no deaths were recorded during the protests. Justice Minister Mama Loko Kabayi described Ghana's accounts as false and warned against portraying South Africa as a xenophobic nation without verified evidence. The death toll from the devastating twin earthquakes in Venezuela has risen to 2,595, with tens of thousands of people still missing as rescue operations continue across the affected areas. In a rare breakthrough, emergency workers rescued a man alive after he spent 8 days trapped beneath about 140 tons of rubble. The acting President Delcy Rodriguez described the rescue as a living miracle. Authorities are short search and rescue efforts remain ongoing, with thousands of emergency personnel deployed to affected communities as hopes of finding more survivors continue to fade. Iran has begun several days of national mourning and funeral processions for former Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, more than 4 months after he was killed in strikes by the United States and Israel. His body will lie in state at Tehran's Grand Mosala ahead of his burial next Thursday in his hometown of Mashhad. Iranian authorities said between 12 and 20 million people are expected to attend what they describe as the funeral of the century. Authorities have closed government offices in Tehran, imposed major traffic restrictions, and announced temporary airspace closures as funeral events continue across the country. Talking sports, Switzerland and Portugal have booked their places in the round of 16 of the FIFA World Cup after victories over Algeria and Croatia, respectively, in Thursday's knockout matches. Switzerland defeated Algeria 2-0 with Brahim Embolo and Dan Ndoye on target to secure the country's first World Cup knockout victory since 1938. Elsewhere, Portugal also progressed with a dramatic 2-1 comeback win over Croatia as Cristiano Ronaldo equalized from the penalty spot before Gonzalo Ramos scored a stoppage time winner. The result set up an all-European round of 16 clash between Portugal and Spain, while Switzerland will face the winner of the Colombia-Ghana encounter as the knockout stage of the expanded 2026 FIFA World Cup continues. You can visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng to watch us live and interact with us. You can also follow us across our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn at Dominion Broadcast and X at Dominion Cars. And that ends the news update on Dominion Television. I'm Oluwayemi Adelakun saying thank you for watching and good afternoon.